Hello everyone, this is Maha. Today I'm here with Humza and Furqan, two of our developers here at Astera. Today we're going to be talking about MCPs. LLMs are the brains, but they do not have senses or limbs to understand and to act. So that's where MCPs come in. So Humza, what are MCPs and why are they important for AI applications?
Okay, before I explain MCPs, I would like to dial back and explain function calling in LLMs. So in the traditional systems, we used to just talk with the LLM or ChatGPT and give it information in terms of text or pictures or whatnot, and it just responds with, again, pictures and text or whatever mode it's talking in. But that's pretty limited in what we can do with integrating into our current systems. So that's where function calling comes in, and that provides two different things to the LLM. First of all, it gives the context of the current system, and that's where it can look into the system and see what's going on, what's the current context with what the current status is, or maybe fetch data from a data source. The second thing that it provides is providing actions, or the LLM can perform certain things inside of your system, and that's where function calling comes in. So these are the two things that it can do with function calling. So in the traditional systems, what happened was that there were different companies that were providing LLMs, and those LLMs would still do function calling, but they were doing it their own way. There was not a standardized protocol, and that's where model context protocol comes in, and it allows every one of them to follow that protocol, and then the different systems can talk together. For example, there's Claude's a client, and it supports MCP servers, and it can connect to any of the different MCP servers and access the tools over there.
Okay, so what you're saying is that now my LLM can access any external data system and literally bring in any data and then use it?
Yes, so there are hundreds of different open source MCP servers available right now, and all of them follow the same MCP protocol. So yes, you can access any of those tools or functions inside of your LLM, and that makes your system that much more powerful.
That's really exciting. So how does Astera AI Agent Builder use MCP?
So basically we have like a lot of function and catalogs. Basically catalogs are all the deployed artifacts like data flows, workflows, and APIs. So now the user can create their own whole data pipeline and how they want to extract data from where, and we have a lot of resources available. So once those data flows are deployed, now the MCPs are available, and the user can they are available to LLM. So now whenever the user's LLM feels like, oh, they have to call this data pipeline, they can automatically call it. So instead of like us having to write a lot of if conditions, okay, if this happens, then the LLM comes in and it makes the smart decisions and be like, they should be called first. And so it does that. So all the flows automated with just one LLM call.
Okay, so what you're saying is that instead of the user deciding what data to provide, the LLM can make that decision and bring in the required data.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So how does the Astera AI, so he mentioned that you can expose your data artifacts to the MCP. So how does that work? So how does the Astera server work in that, MCP server work in that context?
All right, so Astera's MCP server can act in both of the scenarios. It can also act as a client as well as a server. So it can, as I mentioned, there are hundreds of different MCP servers that you can use right now, and all of them can plug into Astera server, and that Astera's AI agent can use those MCP servers and perform the different actions that they expose.
It's especially useful when you have something to do, like for example, you want to use external MCP like a calendar. For example, I want to have a meeting with Humza, but I can just tell the LLM, okay, I can tell them and we schedule the meeting at 2 p.m. and Monday. And the LLM can go and check the Humza's calendar and be like, okay, Humza has a meeting he's busy at 2 p.m. So it can again contact me and be like, what is the best time for you? And it can give me the available slots, and then I can just tell it, okay, let's have a meeting at 3 p.m. It will be able to schedule it for me. So that's the actual power of LLMs.
And there is a very big example of Salesforce where you can access the complete data of Salesforce, but you don't have to load the data and provide it to the LLM. You can just ask the LLM any question that you have regarding your data, and then the LLM will be able to query the Salesforce system and get the particular data that it needs for your question and answer you using that.
Okay, now that we've gone through the basics of MCP, let's dive into some real world examples of how we can use MCPs.
HR department is one of the basic, I would say, the client of MCPs, because HR has a lot of operation which you can hand off to AI. For example, you can create an HR knowledge base where you have all your policies, all your documents in one place. And then, when somebody wants to see, okay, look up a policy and they want to talk about it, they can just go get on the chat and the agent can guide them and also, attach documents using semantic matching. That, okay, this document says that you cannot do this or you can do this. So that's one use case of Agile which you're going to use MCP. And the other use case where you can use MCP is basically, for example, you have a lot of resumes you want to parse. So you can also let the agent know that, okay, this is a job description. And now you can parse all these resumes one by one and then say, okay, these are the ones which I think we are matching and they should go and they should, they to pass it and, pass it on to somebody who's, then review it. So it will kind of lower the burden on the HR department. So those are the two use cases where you can, apply MCPs and get great benefit out of it.
Yeah, one of the things that, people face a lot in the HR department is people asking how many leaves are remaining or, different categories of leaves. So people can just go ahead in the chat bot and, just ask that question definitely. I think there's another example for sales in our company and in different companies as well. So where the customer can come along and you can land on your web page and start a chat with the chatbot, start asking questions, and maybe the chatbot will ask about their use case and understand. It can use the knowledge base that we already have of our documentation and such, and it can then answer to the customer or to the prospect about what we can do for their use case, and then collect the information, maybe even redirect them to if it can successfully make a sale, it can even redirect to a Stripe MCP, and then it can make the payment as well, as if that goes very successfully as well. So it can either collect the information or make that sale for us as well.
Also, it can store a lot of different personal, the character traits of the customer as well. For example, this customer does straightforward answer, or does they want some kind of other. So they can also adjust their behavior on how do they want to address a customer, how do you want to talk to them. So that's one kind of ability of the LLM is that's just stored in the context. The one more thing which you apply these MCPs in the training of different accounting executives, where they can basically use it like a tool where they can see, okay, this is a given scenario, what should I do? And the agent can guide them using the knowledge base. Okay, this is a scenario. Okay, you should talk to him like this way, or you should suggest him this. So that's one example.
I'm sure sales team across the world are going to be really excited about using this.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Furqan. Thank you, Humza, for the amazing insights. This is all for today, guys. We'll see you next time.